life, the bright lights, the type the crowd likes. Where you at, ballers? Ladies love me and men, they wanna be me, they pay to come see me. Where you at, ballers?
Jazz at Mavericks, 8:30, Dallas, Texas. An official play, Dallas minus 13.5. Dallas returns home for a standalone home game off a non-cover in San Antonio, to where they have performed great this year. 6-2 ATS at home versus Western Conference non-playoff teams. The consistency in these matchups is uncanny. I said two losses outright against Memphis. If it's not Memphis, it's a blowout. They got the Spurs twice by 25 and 27. They blew out Portland twice by huge margin. And they are averaging a win by 28.2 points per game in those 6 covers. Speaking of blowouts, the last time Utah visited Dallas on December 6th, Dallas beat Utah 147 to 97. Utah is in the a 3rd and 4 road back-to-back off a game in Oklahoma City last night. And Utah is 4-8 ATS in this fatigue spot. As I mentioned, this has been blowout city this year. This is also a revenge game. Utah blew out Dallas in Utah on New Year's Day. Dallas clearly feeling some beverages from the night before. Utah 127, Dallas 90. We expect a 3rd consecutive blowout from the home team in this matchup. The line that day was a short Dallas minus 4.5 on the road. This is 13.5, suggesting Dallas by 20. Buy this one tonight on the home team, minus 13.5, and let's dominate.
Kings at Wizards. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Thursday, March 21st, with another free pick. We're rocking with the Kings, minus 10.5. This one's going to be really short because it's a very straightforward situation. Yes, the Kings played last night in Toronto, but none of their starters played 30 minutes. Some of their starters played barely 20 minutes. Harrison Barnes played 19 minutes. Malik Monk, who's basically a 6th starter, played 20 minutes. That's because they were giving the Raptors a 40-piece by the 3rd quarter. Tonight, they're playing against a Washington team that's without their best scorer in Kyle Kuzma, my favorite player, Avita, Tyus Jones, who secretly has been one of the most efficient guards in the NBA for the last 2 years, but unfortunately doesn't play on good teams. I could keep going, but I'm going to start naming people y'all probably never even heard of. The point is, Washington is missing their regular rotation, and that is a bad rotation. Who are they replacing them with? Basically G League level players. So I'm going to take the Kings in a motivation spot. What's their motivation, you ask? Playoff seeding. They are trying to at least finish no worse than 6th, and until they lock that down, they cannot afford to take any nights off. Give me the team with motivation against a team that barely has an NBA level roster. Minus 10.5 Kings. Let's cash another ticket, y'all.
Knicks at Nuggets, 9 o'clock. Ball Arena, NBA Shot Clock on this Thursday. Best bet, Denver minus 8.5. Denver comes home off a 4-game trip. A standalone home game, theoretically a bad spot, not for Denver. Denver is 9-5-1 ATS in the first game at home off a previous road game, and they are 9-3 ATS at home against the Eastern Conference, with very specific covers against Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Boston, and Miami. Top quality Eastern teams like the New York Knicks. Uncannily, the Knicks have beaten Denver 3 consecutive times to add significant motivation to this side for the champs tonight. Go back to last year. The Knicks did win in Denver, 106-103. Key point on that game, no Jokic. Go back to this season on January 25th at the Garden. Denver's worst loss of the year. New York 122, Denver 84. I did a double take when I got that score, and then I remembered we backed the Knicks that day. We know when to buy, we know when to sell. In that game, a total shooting outlier. Denver shot 19% from the 3-point line and just got crushed from the field. This is a brutal spot for the Knicks. The fourth and final game of a Western trip, running a clean sheet on this trip. 3-0 ATS, 3-0 straight up. Back-to-back huge wins outright at Sacramento and Golden State. This is where it all falls apart for the Knicks. By Denver tonight at -8.5. We expect a win by double digits. The buy hat is engaged. Best bet of the day on this Thursday. Let's cash this ticket.
Nets at Bucks. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Thursday, March 21st with another free pick. We're rocking with the under 221.5 in this Bucks-Nets game. Tough situation for the Bucks, who expended a lot of energy getting back into that game against Boston. End up outscoring Boston 36-21, but ultimately falling short, losing by 3. Now they fly back home to take on a Brooklyn team that's just been playing terrible basketball. However, one of the main reasons I lean towards the under is, even though Brooklyn is 5-10 since the All-Star break, they're playing near top 10 defense. They're 11th in the league in defensive efficiency, which is very good, which leans me towards the under versus a Milwaukee team, again, that doesn't need to score their usual 121. They average 121 points per game. 113 to 115, which is right around the score I believe that they're going to get. Their team total, by the way, is 115. So right around 113 to 115 is more than enough for them to beat this Brooklyn team, who have one of... If you hate offensive basketball, watch Brooklyn. Brooklyn is a horrendous offensive team. They have no continuity, no scheme. Cam Thomas looks like he's reading from a different playbook than the rest of his teammates. It's just bad. So they can't score. They defend well. They play at one of the slowest paces in the league right now. They're 24th in pace post All-Star break. All of these things combined with the situation for Milwaukee, again, travel after a tough loss, all of these things lead me towards the under 221.5. I think Milwaukee gets about 114 and does enough to win the game and keep this under for us. Y'all know what it is. Let's cash another ticket.
Hawks at Suns, 10:30, a national game on NBA TV. A top lean in this game on NBA Shot Clock. We give you a lean on every game. Take the under 228.5 and let's discuss. These teams met in Atlanta on February 2nd, and the game was a very high-scoring game, 129 to 120. The key point on that game, Trae Young was playing for the Hawks. Now, Trae Young is injured, and the Hawks are averaging 105.3 points per game in their last 7 road games without him, playing at a much slower pace and lacking shot-making ability. In that particular game in Atlanta, the teams combined for 93 points from the three-point line, which will not repeat tonight. And books are moving the line down from 251 to 228.5. A historical gap within one season featuring the same teams playing a second game. This game suggests an under to 221.5. Phoenix is on the back end of a back-to-back, and Phoenix has gone 5-1 versus this number at home if playing Eastern Conference opponents since the middle of February. Buy the under here tonight at 228.5, and let's cash this ticket.
Pelicans at Magic. Junior Browne back with NBA Shot Clock on this Thursday, March 21st with another free pick, and we're rocking with the Pelicans -2.5. I feel like this line is really short. It actually opened up at Pelicans -1.5. Sharp action has moved it up to 2.5. And I say sharp action because I feel like those people are seeing what I see, and that Orlando's a little bit of fool's gold. I'm not trying to disrespect them, but they've needed the Philadelphia 76ers to fall off for them to move up into 5th. And the fact that they haven't been able to pass the Knicks with all of the Knicks injury issues, to me, tells a story of its own. However, I know Magic fans out there are probably yelling at the screen, but they've won 8 of their last 10. So let me answer all 7 of y'all. Yes, they've won 8 of their last 10, but they've beaten the Hornets twice, Brooklyn twice, Toronto twice, Utah, and Washington. Sorry, I was trying to remember the other team. Basically, I just named you 6 of the worst teams in the entire league. Now, that's not Orlando's fault. You have to beat whoever's on the schedule. Part of that 10-game stretch, they got blown out by Indiana and blown out by the injury-plagued Knicks, by the way. Now, they moved into 5th about 2 weeks ago on March 8th. The Pelicans, meanwhile, have been in the 5th seed in the much tougher Western Conference since January 14th. Here we are in March, and they're right around still in the 4th or 5th position, still fighting for home court advantage against much tougher competition. I think these teams are very similar, with the difference being the Pelicans have much better high-end talent. So, as always, whenever I'm getting the much better team at a short number, I will take that, and we will be cashing another ticket, y'all.